Soft Cell and Tainted Love. Now, our next guest is a British actor who's just returned to the UK screens in a slick, stylish and sexy heist movie called Plastic. Please welcome to the show, Mem Ferda. Thanks for joining us, Mem.
Hi, my pleasure. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Now, to remind our listener, what have you been in the past that we might have seen you in?
In the past? Well, I kind of started off with Guy Ritchie's Revolver. Did a part in that. Had a couple of scenes with Ray Liotta in that, and then I did a film called Experiment, a film called The Crew, a Liverpudlian gangster film, Legacy with Idris Elba, The Devil's Double, which was a couple of years ago. That's quite a big film with Dominic Cooper, and Ill Manners as well with Plan B's film.
Oh yes, Ill Manners, yeah, and also The Pusher and The Devil's Double.
That's right, Pusher. Nicholas Winding Refn was the executive producer on Pusher, which was a remake of the Danish original, which I did. So that was a really good film to do. And yeah, and then on to Plastic.
And what's it about, Plastic?
Basically, it's based on true events that happened, and it kind of tells a story about a group of university students who become credit card thieves. In order to supplement their incomes, they start to do credit card fraud, and things kind of spiral out of control when they accidentally rip off a notorious crime boss, who basically is my boss in the film. And you know, owing a lot of debt, they then target big spenders in Miami, and my boss basically sends me out there in Miami, to Miami after them.
Okay, and you played Tariq, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, I played the character of Tariq. Yeah.
And it's by Julian Gilby.
Julian Gilby, yeah, he's a very talented director. He's one of the most exciting and certainly the most kind of innovative directors out there at the moment. I think in terms of the British directors, he's got a lot of energy. He's very contagious, actually. His energy, and he's got great vision as well. I mean, he takes a lot of time with each scene, and he shoots a lot of it, from different angles, and really makes the actors work hard. And he does get phenomenal performances out of people. I mean, he's kind of known mainly for his action and stunts, and and that was pretty demanding, actually, both physically and psychologically.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
And what's the character of Tariq like? Do we warm to him? Is he a goodie or a baddie?
He's kind of, in fact, he's got a kind of dazzling kind of exterior sort of persona, but underlined with like a dark, humorous side. So yeah, you do. He kind of is a little bit simple, to be honest with you, and and he kind of gets besotted. Like he's sent out after the kids, and he becomes besotted with Sexy Frankie, who's played by Emma Rigby.
Okay.
He develops quite a fascination with her, and there's some humorous parts there. I mean, and then you got the big action scene, which and I kind of tried to channel Pacino to the character that he's well as Tony Montana in Scarface. I kind of had that in my mind when we were doing the shootout scene. So yeah, he's not a bad character. He's quite I think you can warm to him. Yeah.
It must be great fun for you to play, like you say, shootout scenes. It's a bit like playing, isn't it? Like when you were a small boy.
Well, it's fantastic. I mean, it's quite demanding. You have to be pretty fit, and you have to kind of concentrate on what you're doing, obviously, because we're kind of firing. They're kind of live rounds. Obviously, they're blanks, but they're still bullets, and you have to be very careful where you stand and where you point your gun, and the armour is always there, and you've got first aid there, and so it is a thrilling thing to do, though. Yeah.
But it's got to be very real, hasn't it? It's got to be lifelike.
Yeah, it can't be pretend, because it'll just look that you're pretending. It has to be real, and Julia's quite notorious for using what they call full load gunpowder. So he does kind of load you up, with he likes to get the big blast. And in the action scenes, yeah.
And you mentioned Emma Rigby. Who else is in the cast?
Emma Rigby's in it. We got Ed Spielers, who was a child actor from Aragon, I think was the film that he did. There's Will Poulter, who recently won a BAFTA Rising Star Award. Alfie Allen, who's currently in Game of Thrones. Sebastian de Souza is quite relatively new. So we've got Thomas Kretschmann as well, who starred with Tom Cruise in, I think, Valkyrie. He was in that with him.
Sounds like a star-studded cast. Sounds
it is, yeah. They're quite a young, fresh, kind of talented cast, and then you have myself and Thomas Kretschmann and Graham McTavish as well that are in it as well.
And is it out now in the UK?
Yeah, it's out. Actually, I think this week is the last week that it's running. I think it's run for about 2.5 weeks now. It's currently in Leicester Square at the View Cinema. And I think soon after, probably a couple of months after that, it'll be out on DVD.
Okay, excellent. And what about you? How did you get into acting? Have you been acting as a small child?
I always had a kind of fascination for it. I kind of started off doing modelling really in my teens, and then I started doing some commercials, and kind of progressed from there really. And then I decided I went to university, I studied psychology, and then I did a master's degree in business. And then I thought, you know what, I've always wanted to act, so now it's time to kind of go and do what I really want to do, rather than doing the sensible thing, I guess.
Yeah, rather than doing a real job, yeah.
Yeah, rather than doing a real job. So, because I wasn't really encouraged to kind of go that route as a youngster. My dad's kind of very, he was basically against that sort of acting per se. But yeah, I auditioned for London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts, and I got into that, and then that was it really. The rest is history, as they say.
Excellent, well done. And what's next for you after this? Do you know? Are you having a break?
No, not at all. In fact, I'm pretty motivated. I kind of want to get on. I've got a couple of films coming out, actually. I've been very fortunate. It's been a good year. I've got a film called Breakdown, which is coming out, which stars Craig Fairbrass and James Cosmo. It's about a professional contract killer who's haunted by visions of his violent past. And I play like a head of a Turkish crime syndicate in that, and it's got a real strong, horrific kind of torture scene which I'm involved in.
Oh, nice.
And that should be out later this year. So you have a strong stomach for it, I think.
Yeah, well, that would be good. Craig Fairbrass is great. I think he's a really good actor.
He's a good guy, yeah. And I've also got HYENA coming out, which is kind of like almost like a remake of Bad Lieutenant. It's getting a big buzz around that at the moment. That's got Stephen Graham, Neil Maskell, Maya Berling in it. And that comes out. It's about Albanian and Turkish gangs in London.
Right.
That should be out soon. And also I did a film called Dirty Money, which is like a small independent film. It's like an urban thriller. And again, that's based on true events as well. And that's at the American film market at the moment. So
I can see a thread forming here. You're not going to get typecast on.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because, I've made a career out of playing bad guys, drug dealers, all the kind of seedy people that you can ever imagine. But currently, I've just done a BBC free comedy series. We've just done a pilot for it. It's called Rude Boys.
Oh yeah.
In which I play a father of a like a little boy and a girl, which is interesting. And we're going to the screening. I'm going to the screening tonight, as it happens. And hopefully, if we can get commissioned on that, then that'll be like an on-running thing. I've always wanted to do a bit of comedy, so hopefully this will be the one.
Yeah, well, good luck with it all.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
If people want to find out more about you, your website, I believe, is all the W's, Mem Ferda, which is MEMFERDA.com.
That's correct, yeah.
Excellent.
There's also Twitter, Mem Ferda 1.
Mem Ferda 1.
Yeah, that's the Twitter account. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to speak to us today. Thank you very much, Mem Ferda. Take care.
Pleasure. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Lifestyle. Selena McKenzie.
Tiari. Here, Alice, you've been on your motor.